Hello there, it's Lisa here for NitwitCollections. I'm a little bit early. I'm always early with this type of thing, but if there's anybody there, would you just type a hello and where you're from, and then we know that I've got somebody actually watching. I think Mary Fran and Little General might be the first up. I know there are 2 or 3 people who've said they're definitely going to watch today. I have with me my wingman, so to speak. Amy, my daughter, is with me. I know some of you will know I've talked about Amy. She's my technical help for things like this, so she's here just in case I need help or anything goes amiss. So, Jackie, hello. I told Amy that you'd be here, Jackie. So, Australia, 5 o'clock in the morning now. I know you put a message, a comment on something. I think it was about midnight your time. So you've not had an awful lot of sleep, have you, today? But thank you so much for joining. Jill, hello from not so sunny Scotland. And hello from the Nitwits. Thank you. Hello to you too. There's always a little bit of a time lag between me actually doing something on the screen and comments coming on the iPad. So Amy's going to watch the iPad for comments and questions. So if anybody is there asking a question, it may be a little bit before I get to answer it for you, but we'll do our best between us to sort things out for you. Now then, it's 2 years since I did one of these, but what I want to do for you today is show you, hopefully quite easily, using Microsoft Word, how I design my cards using the NitwitCollections images. Resizing, moving them around, that type of thing. And I'm going to do a reasonably easy card. I'm doing this one for you, show you what it looks like, and then I'll go through it step by step with you. Please do ask questions because that's what this is about. I am working in centimetres today, but no reason, it doesn't matter what my dimensions are. If you're working in imperial and inches, you just use your own measurements, obviously. So I am going to, this is really weird because I actually usually have, well, I have 2 screens. I'm very lucky. I've got 2 screens side by side, which makes it a lot easier for me. So bear with me whilst I'm doing all of this on one screen, which is what probably most of you have. Okay, I'm going to make this for you. I've got a picture of it at the side of me so I can watch. Oh no, I can't watch at the same time, can I? Because it will go in a second. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to keep this so I can sort of revert back to it and show you where I'm going. But I am going to, I haven't got all the technical terms, call it a browser, I guess. I'm going into promises because that's what we were working with last week on Nitwits. And I am going to choose my first background paper, which I believe I used Daisy Purple. So easy, right click on your mouse and copy. And when I go back into my Word document, right click and paste. And there I've got my first gorgeous paper. Now if I put my click my left mouse button, that doesn't move anywhere. So up here we've got a little square, like a text type of box. I want to left click on there, and I am going to choose the square option, with text wrapping the square there. Now straight away I can move that sideways. Okay, so I can move it around my blank piece of paper. However, it won't move up and down. So I am going to go to layout on my top toolbar in Word, and I'm going to go to position, and with text wrapping I'm going to use the top left with square text wrapping. Okay, so if I left click on there, I now have a completely mobile square piece of paper. Okay, if you move it around on your page, you will see that it will at some point align in the center, which is useful for lining up some of your papers and images. Now, I'm not making a square card, I'm going to make a rectangular card, okay? And I want this, let's just say for argument's sake, I'm going to do roughly a 7" by 5" card. Yes, I know I said I'm working in centimetres, but it's easier to say a 7 by 5 card because it's how we all buy them. But my computer's set up in centimetres, so that's ultimately what I do work in. So I need to resize this. Now, I think probably some of you will know you can click on the sides and sorry, where the little round circle is, and it will change the size of your paper. But if I do that, look how it changes, it squishes the pattern up and you lose what the pattern really should look like. So if I just go back there, the same would happen. Oh, if I do that, it squashes everything and distorts the shape. So the first thing, and perhaps the most important thing I learnt from Amy, would have been I actually want to like cut this piece of paper. So I need to have left clicked on it, so I've got it highlighted with my like the dots around the edge, and I'm going to go into picture format up on the toolbar at the top.
We have some new viewers.
Oh
we have some people saying the collection is very nice.
Hey Marion, thanks for joining. Okay, so picture format, and I'm wanting to actually crop. And immediately I get these little black outlines, okay, instead of just the little circles. Now, if I put my, call it the mouse, the cursor, exactly on that black line and left click, I can pull that down and it's going to cut that piece of paper card for me, okay? Now it's going to tell me up in this top right hand corner the height and the width. So my width, a very strange 16.78 centimetres and 10.69 the height, okay? I know that I really want this about 12 for a 5 by 7" card. Equates to about a 17 by 12. Okay, let's leave it about there. So 11.65. So that way, click outside the box or outside your paper. Click on your paper to move it again. I can line it up centrally in my piece of paper, but I've got exactly the same image. Nothing squashed. I've got the lovely little flower patterns still on the paper. Okay. So what I want to do now is obviously I want to layer it up and put another paper on top of there. So I think I used the dotted teal. Okay, so I'm going to right click on there and copy. Gosh, actually doing this and talking it through at the same time is really weird. Really weird. I just usually do everything just sort of, yeah, instinctively. Right, so I've copied it. I'm now back on where I'm designing. So I'm going to right click and paste. And it brings my paper in kind of down here. Now again, it's there, but I need to click on it, left click, and then I need to left click in this little square box at the side and use the square box there. Wow, immediately it pulls it up into the middle of the page. Okay, I also remember, because it won't move, it'll only move side to side, it won't move up and down, so I want to go into layout at the top on my toolbar, position, and again the top left button, and now I can move that freely all over. Now again, if I very slowly move that, it will line up. I didn't say, your green dotted line will center it for me. Okay, so I'm putting that on top of my border paper, but obviously it's too big. So again, I don't want to squish the pattern, so I'm not going to just drag it down to make it smaller. I am going to go into picture format and crop. And again, your mouse cursor wants to go on that line there at the top. It's no good having your arrow, it won't work, that will just make it smaller. And squish the pattern again. I'm using my hands here and I know you can't see my hands, but let's get that right on there and let's pull it down. And I'm just doing this by eye now because you can see the shadow, can't you? It kind of blanks out the bit I'm cutting off, and I'm going that far down and I'm going to click outside and it's cut it for me. Now I didn't measure this, but if I go back to picture format, I can see that it's 10.9 high, 15.9 wide. And if I click on the one on the outside, I'm not going to work that out on the top of my head. To me it looks okay by eye, but when I'm actually formatting my cards, I do it to like a 1/10 of a millimetre. To 2 decimal points. So I am very, very particular about my measurements because I think once it's printed, you can see whether it's, offset if you haven't got your borders quite right. So the middle line is easy to line up the top and bottom. And then if you use your shift key and also click on the very background paper, it will highlight that as well, so you can actually line up as well and you can see that that is really central. Okay, click outside on your piece of paper and now we've got our base card. Okay, on here what I'm going to use next is, that is one full image. If I click on it, it'll move around. Okay, so I need to go back into my browser and I need to, if you haven't seen them, the colours on Promises is wonderful. Look at those brads there, they're gorgeous, aren't they? The butterflies, so many different buttons to choose from, the flowers. I know you'll have seen some of the cards that I made with this. Gosh, there's so many, there's a hearts and a quilt. And then as we go down, we've got different ribbons, we've got tags. And here we go, I've got a word art pocket, so I'm going to use that. So I'm going to right click on it and copy. I'm going to go down back into Word and anywhere on the piece of paper, essentially right click and paste. And again, with everything that you bring in, you need to, I can't always talk and do this. You need to just go through the motions of doing your layout option and your picture format. So let's pop that now that it will move freely. Let's pop it slightly to the side. Okay. It'd be easy to put it in the middle, but I decided to really test myself and put it on the side on this one. Okay. So that's my first image done. What else did I put on here? Okay, so I wanted to put something on the, whoops, gosh, that shouldn't have happened. Let's go back. I wanted to put something down the side because Mary Fanosa always has some really wonderful foliage and flower type of images that will look lovely as a border. So this vine here, I'm going to right click and copy. Mark it into my document, right click on the paper and paste. Click on your image into the box, make it square, layout, position, top left. Now that's too big, obviously, to go on there. So, unlike the patterns where it will distort the shape, but to make this smaller, I'm not taking it just the length or the width, I'm actually taking the corner and making the whole thing smaller. so that it's roughly the size to go on there. Okay, and then what I will do is resize it perfectly. So I'm going to check the, sorry, I'm whizzing ahead, aren't I? I'm going to highlight my layer of paper, my matting layer. I keep moving it. Gosh, I tell you, this is so hard to talk and do it. I just usually whiz away with it. If I right click on there, I've got a whole menu that comes up, and I'm going to go right down to size and position, and it will tell me that the height of this teal dotted paper is 10.9 centimeters. Okay, so when I go back onto the border element, let's make it a bit bigger for you. Okay, far too big now. If I click on that and then right click and go down to size and position, and I'm going to change the height to 10.9. Oops, come on mouse. Okay, that now will be exactly the same height. You can see it's lined up perfectly with that mat of paper, or is it a layer? The layer of paper. Okay, and on this one I've just left it slightly. If I hold the mouse down, I think I did that smaller, but if I hold left click, it will move around. So I might just move it so that the little white flowers are overlapping a little bit on the side border. Okay,
What would be the difference between through position and the left layout position?
is it on there, Jackie? Where's the through position? Amy's taking over.
I'm just wondering if you mean on here in the layout options, because you can have like, or there's through, and there's other ones somewhere. Usually we just go for the square or the tight. Honestly, not entirely sure what all the technicalities behind it are, but those are the ones that tend to just be the easiest to maneuver.
It works, Jackie. I don't want to. Once I find something that actually works for me, I'm not very good at with technology in terms of just playing with all the different options. This works. This is what I use all the time. So, you know, for yourself, yeah, play around with it, look at different options and try them. But this is the easiest way that I have found to do it all. So sorry, I can't give you more than that. So I was coming back to this. On here, I don't know if you can see, if I make that big, it doesn't overlap much on the main image there. But what I can do is, now that that is in place, I'll just move that a little bit. If I, again, right click on there and go to size and position. No, I don't want that one, do I? I'm like, right click, and I'm going to go down here to send to back. Now, if I actually click on that and send it back, that image is still there, but it's behind everything that I've already layered up on there. It's right on the underneath everything. So let's get it back by clicking undo. But if I right click and go send back, but go to the arrow and just send backward, that white flower on the main image has disappeared. So it's now tucked, I'm using my hands again, it's now tucked under this main image. Now it doesn't really matter because I'm going to put something else on here. I'm going to put a tag on. However, I will perhaps be able to show you better with something in a moment. Okay, but there are loads of things on that menu that you can play around with. Bring it to the front, send it back. I do use that quite a lot actually, because when you're looking to say, does this work, what about this image that you've put in, you can just play around with them forever. Okay, so I've now got my border in place. I need a tag, so I'm going back into my main collection, and I now don't know, I think I used that colour tag, didn't I? So I'm going to right click on that tag and copy it. I'm going to go back into my document. I'm going to right click and paste. So I've got my tag down here now. I'm going to left click on it and go through my motions. It's when you do that, it always sends my image right up to the top of the page I'm working with. So let's just drag it down. And what I wanted to do was put a tag on here, but I don't want it that big. It's a bit out of proportion. Let's, using the corner, it will reduce the size in proportion, the height and the width at the same percentages each. And then I want to tilt it so this little circle at the top, if you put your mouse over it, if you watch carefully, that will suddenly change into a circle with an arrow. So using that, you can change it all over the place. So I'm going to angle that, and I'm going to line up the punched hole in the tag with the eyelet that was in the pocket full of posies. Now I think that's still possibly just a touch too big, so I'm going to reduce it a little bit and just click and hold and drag this. So if you left click, you can drag that anywhere you like. I'm going to pop it on there.
Do you ever do the designs on Cricut Design Space?
I don't, Marion. No, I haven't even gone there. When I first got my Cricut, I do have a friend who designs everything she does on her Cricut. I haven't gone there, and I think that's purely because when I started with my digital card making and got my first collections, I didn't have a Cricut, I didn't have a cutting machine. So I did everything in Word, and if I had an element I wanted to decoupage, I fussy cut it by hand. The cutting machine came a little bit later, and I think just because I wasn't used to formatting everything on the Cricut, I haven't gone there. As I say, my technological mind doesn't always keep up to date with everything. So I design on here on Word. If I want a specific something cutting out, I will then just do the cut out bits on the Cricut. The knickknacks, yes, I cut out on the Cricut. But then you build the knick-knack itself. There's no real, the formatting, Mary Fran's essentially done that for us. But on these, no, I don't do it on my Cricut, sorry. One day, you never know. I think I would say I'm too old to learn new tricks, but hey. Okay, I've got my tag there. I'm sorry that doesn't help you. Yes, it answers your question. I don't use it, but it doesn't help anybody, does it? What I want to do is write in there. So I am going to insert. Now, again, there might be an easier and a better way of doing this. However, the way I do it, I go into Word Art, and I could try all these different shadows and two colours and what have you, but no, let's do black. Now my text box pops up here. Again, I've got the same formatting. I need to make it square, and I need to go into layout and position and the left button. It's whizzed up here. Okay, I just do these things, but I hope maybe you do all know that when you have something, your text box, your image box, if you put your mouse cursor on the outside edge, left click, it will pull it down to wherever you want it. Some things, unfortunately, I just do without thinking. To change the text in there, if nobody has done that before, you need to hold your left mouse button down and highlight all of those words. And I am going to replace it with, I think I put for you, didn't I?
For me?
No, I mean for you. For you. Okay. That is a little bit large. I'm going to highlight it again. So just like you would in Word if you were typing a document, you've got your font size. Let's go down to 22. Now, I know somebody asked recently on, I think, the neighbourhood, something about fonts. And I know Mary Fran was saying that in your normal Word, or I haven't mentioned yet, have I? The program GIMP, which is a formatting program that a lot of people use, and it has a lot of similarities with Word. I have watched the videos that NitwitCollections have put out on that. It's just I learnt on Word, so I use Word. So you get a number of fonts that come with it, with your Word. Some of them you have to download, some of them you pay for. I've never paid for a font. I come from Yorkshire. I'm careful with my money. There's a thing about people in Yorkshire being tight with their money. I'm sure that's the one I used that I thought was perhaps closest to what Mary Fran had used, but I've made it bold. Yeah, pretty much the same as up there. Might be slightly larger on the top one. So I've now got it there, but again, because the tag is at an angle, I want to just change that by holding the circle at the top and moving it into the center of my tag. I want to put a bow on top of the tag. I think I put a green one on. It doesn't really matter. So I'm going to copy the bow. I'm going back down here. Right click, paste, click on the image, make it square, go up to position, top left, find your bow, bring it down. Oh, I put a lilac-y purple coloured bow up there. Never mind. Let's put a green one on here. So yeah, a little bit on the big size. So using the corner, drag it down to a reasonable size. Oh, it's still a bit big, isn't it? I don't know. Again, I need it, or I'd like it at an angle, so I'm going to go up to the top part and move it around sideways. Now it's cutting off my text, which I could move. Let's move the text box as well. Let's go out of there. Let's see if we can get rid of that. Sorry, a little mishap. Bring the text down, then it's not obscured by the bow. Okay. Looking good so far. And then I just put the 3 brads up at the top. So if I go back here, copy into Word, paste. Right, let's bring it down here. How long have I been?
It's only 26 minutes.
Okay. Let's right click, copy, back into here, paste. I would say I'd only put 2 on here, but that wouldn't look right, would it? I'm going to put all 3 on here. I think I did that colour. Doesn't matter. Word in here, paste. Let's pop it on here. Right, they're all over the place now, aren't they? Okay. That one, I guess it is moving. I have done all the bits with it. Okay. Let's bring them all side by side. Now then, they've all been imported and they're all the same size. Let's click on all 3 of them. Hold your shift key down, click on all 3, and I just need to put my cursor on one of the outside circles, and if I drag down, they will all end up the same size. And then if I position them, and how I position these, I tend to use the little circles. There must be a technical name for those little circles, to kind of position it in terms of the height against the paper, and also how close it is to the next one And then if you want to check they're all lined up, again, shift key down, keep it held down, highlight them all, and look, they are all perfectly lined up. Oh, I love it when that happens. Amy's now sort of laughing at me. Okay. So yeah, we now have two kind of identical looking cards, I think, pretty much, apart from the bow's a different colour. And I've left a larger border on that one. Okay, so that is the basis of how I would start to make just a normal flat card. With this one, if I make it up into a card, I would highlight my main image, my tag, my bow. Oh, I think the bow's not moved, and I can't think my words. Sentiment, whatever. Yeah, the words. I would highlight all of those. I would right click, copy, paste it onto another sheet of paper, print it, and because this one is reasonably straightforward, I would fussy cut that. I would cut that out by hand. I would not attempt to do that on the Cricut. If I did it on the Cricut, yes, I could do it quite easily. What I wouldn't do is try and match it up exactly to that. I would, yeah, take those items, put them on the Cricut, and then cut them out and put them on I'd take that away, put it on a blank like that.
Could you hold the shift key and move them all at the same time?
Yes, I am doing. Yes.
Yeah, no, that was a question.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I've answered it beforehand, haven't I? Yes, you can move them all together. Just like I moved oh yes, I could have done those all at the same time, couldn't I? Of course I could, but they would have been differently spaced because I changed the size of them so they had much wider spaces. But yes, you can hold your shift, highlight all of them, and yes, everything will move at the same time. I do have an awful habit of doing things like that and letting go of the mouse part way through the move, but there you go. Okay, so that's like quite straightforward. I don't know how anybody is time-wise. So just having a quick drink of water. But the other thing I thought I'd tell you and show you is something that I do it quite recently? No, I've done it for a while now, but I have a folder within my craft that I call templates. And yes, I have quite a few templates in here. And up here I have a stepper card stencil for layout. Okay. Now, I haven't made one of these for a while. It's kind of like my signature card. But what I decided to do, because I used to format every piece of paper each time I made one of these cards, and then I thought, oh, there must be an easier way. So I've kept this as a stencil, essentially. This is Golden Moments, and this is probably the last of those stepper cards that I made. Now, I can't show you from here the actual what it looks like. I hope some of you will be able to recognize the shape of it. There are two larger squares, bottom left, top right, and some smaller squares, and it all folds up. But what I will do is, once I have made one of these and I've kept it, I will then let me get rid of some of these, but not all of them. Okay, let's leave those. Okay, I now have those. Bit happy with the mouse. Okay, I'm going to change this, and I'm going to make this really quite easy for myself. If I go down here, sorry, I've done a right click, change picture. This device now takes me into my, I've lost the word, what is it, your browser?
Your browser, your
okay.
files.
No, you don't need to look at all of this. I'm just going into find, should we go back down to, oh, I know what I was going to do. I was actually going to go into Peachy Keen, because I got Peachy Keen recently. And if you click on your collection, brings it up in this window. It might bring it up as just words. You can change the size of your icons up in here, but I can work off here, I think. So I want to change, why have I got an egg timer? I want to change that paper. I'm going to use a green. So I'm going to highlight the colour paper I want to use and insert. And hey presto, suddenly it changes. So the brilliant thing about this, it's a shortcut. Change picture from this device. Click your paper, insert it, and it changes it. I don't have to resize anything. Everything's, I'm using my hands again here, folks. Everything's central, everything's lined up. Let me choose a paper to go in here. So in here, highlight it, right click, change picture, this device, and right, green outline. I can't see these very well. What should we use? Should we have something flowery? Should we have, oh, Amy wants the pink dots. Ooh,
maybe that was a mistake.
This is sometimes a bit of trial and error in terms of what's actually going to look right. And that might have looked better on a larger scale. Let's go diamonds, white, teal. Oh, that's better, isn't it?
See, this is why you're the one who does it and I'm
not. In here, I am now going to. Oh, I need peach keen, don't I, down here? Because I took my picture away. Please don't count how many collections I've amassed. Okay, I'm going to put in here, and I'm just scrolling through all my images. I'm looking for, I know what I'm looking for, television. A really old-fashioned 1950s television.
I love this collection.
I know, it's great, isn't it? Copy that. Let's go back into Word. Oh gosh, right, okay. Sometimes you only get a little bit of your image depending on how much you've already got on your piece of paper, but you can find it. Oh gosh, that's brilliant. Layout, position. There we go. Let's make it small enough to fit. Ooh, I've lost the aerials. Gosh, who can remember a television that had like an aerial on the top like that, and you used to have to like move it around to get your picture? Okay. And if I go back in here, I know I want, oh gosh, I'm really stuck between oldie but goodie, nifty times. Let's go nifty times. Now this is great because I love, have you called it a word art, Mary? And I can't see because of that, the word art. Copy, let's go back. Where am I going? Paste. Again, it's come down here, big image. It's behind everything else, but once I click on those two buttons, it brings it forward. Let's shrink it down. So I'm using the diagonal shrink. Still a bit big to go in there. Yeah, I think it's just about in. Oh, nifty times.
That looks awesome.
Isn't that wonderful? Okay. Let me just whiz straight over here. You know, or some of you know, I love the paint chips. I've already got the paint chip on there. Highlight it. Right click, change picture, this device. Where's the Peachy Keen paint chip? Oh, it's there. I just can't see it sometimes for looking. Oh, there it is. Let me make the border, change picture, this device. Let's go down to the green. You're all very quiet with your comments, aren't you?
Nitwits say that it's very cute putting the sentiment inside the TV.
Ooh, need a picture on the telly. And I need a different background paper on that one. So let's change the picture. I need something quite light, quite liked. Oh, I've already used polka, haven't I? Let's go.
Taupe, maybe?
Oh, let's go ticking.
Okay. Oh, that's
Yeah,
nice.
it works, doesn't it? So that one, on this kind of card, I keep the big squares usually the same, but try to use as many different background papers as possible. What was that one called with the stars that I used? That one.
Was it weave? No.
No, it
A
was.
bit further up?
Was it Paul?
Yes, it could be. Maybe? No.
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 Oh gosh, I've lost it.
Which one was
I've
it?
lost it. I've lost it.
Diamonds.
Ah, there, diamonds. Okay. So I need another picture to go in there. I'll finish this card later, but I just want to find another. Somebody tell me what sort of image you would like. You could have a record. You could have an old-fashioned radio. No, the jukebox is really the wrong shape. We could have groovy moments with you. We could have a clock. What does anybody fancy as a...
I like the clock.
I'm waiting for a comment, but round or squarish?
I would go square because I think it's funky and retro.
Copy. They're all retro, aren't they?
Yeah, but it's giving like American Diner and cars.
Let's paste it in there. Ooh, let's go up here. This is great.
Jill says.
Oh, sorry, Jill.
Too late. You got to get in there quickly.
Right, and there's the clock there. Okay. I'm going to finish this later. You don't need to sit and watch me do all of these. But yeah, I will finish this tomorrow, and it will be up in on the Facebook neighbourhood page tomorrow. But these, I can already see, you probably can, the squares that are going on this card, they're going to have some of the records in them because let's just take you back to Peachy Keen. The oldie but goodie, the fabulous 50s. Some of these elements, and oh god, I just love these. Twist and shout, rock and roll. You will be seeing those on my card that I make tomorrow, most definitely. So let's go back to where I started. So I hope it's been a useful exercise. The resizing, I think, using crop as opposed to just shrinking your paper using the side or the top and bottom middle like round buttons is perhaps for me the most important thing because it maintains the proper image. Okay. If you want to copy an item but can't find it in the collections, click on.
Like if you wanted to, for example, copy this, you can just either do the keys, which she suggested.
Control C. Oh.
Control C, copy. Control V, paste.
Oh, right. Yes. Thank you, Frida. You see, this is where my knowledge of computers is so limited. I was a bit of a late starter with computers and didn't use them an awful lot when I worked many years ago. So thank you. But because I have two screens side by side, I don't usually struggle as much to find images, but thank you. Yes, I will try use some keystrokes instead of the mouse and different windows for everything. But I hope it's been useful. I hope you've learned maybe just one tiny thing from today. What we're going to try and do at the end of this is send the video over to Nitwit so that it can go on YouTube, I believe. We will try and get that. Oh, sorry, we won't at all. Amy will try and do Amy will try and do that for me in a moment. So thank you for joining me tonight. I look forward to, if you've got promises, make some cards with promises. Peach Keen, yeah. every collection is just wonderful, isn't it? But yeah, see if you can learn, take something that you've learned and incorporate it in some of your designs the next time that you sit down at your computer and make something. Oh, Tina, sorry I didn't see you were there. Thank you for joining. Hope you found it useful. So that's it for tonight, folks. You can go and enjoy the rest of your, I was going to say Sunday evening, but I know for some of you it's the rest of your Sunday, isn't it? And especially you, Jackie. Missed Holly as well. Holly said she'd try look, but she'll no doubt catch it a little bit later. So thank you all for joining me, and I may at some point be back again later. Meanwhile, enjoy your crafting. Thank you very much, and good night, good day, goodbye.